welcome back. I'm just gonna jump right in. Today I'm going to film a plant tour, just like this, because it's not gonna be me in the video, it's gonna be my plants. So I hope that you enjoy this aesthetic, and as always, thank you for watching. Let's jump right in. So I really wish that I could let this music play right now, but unfortunately I cannot due to copyright issues, of course. But please enjoy this red record aesthetic. So these are all the plants that are in my living room. I actually have like a double parlor. So these are all located in one of the double parlors. It's like, I would call it a sunroom, I guess you could say. This first plant is a hibiscus. It flowers from time to time, but usually the flowers only live for literally 24 hours and then they die. It is the saddest thing ever. This cactus is super cool because it is not prickly at all and it grows really well. I've actually propagated this probably like 3 to 4 times now. Next, this is a beautiful calathea, but he's not living his best life at the present moment, and I don't know why. If you have any tips, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love some tips because I love that plant. This is one of my favorite plants. It is a fiddle leaf fig, and I've had it for about a year now. This one is an orchid. This was my first orchid ever, and she is thriving right now. She literally has like 3 separate stems. They're all flowering. This is the biggest aloe plant that I have ever had. I don't know if it's a different type of aloe, but the others that I have are super small and like skinny, but this one is like thick, you know. I recently planted this. It's a green leaf philodendron, like the regular green heartleaf philodendron. And so far she's just like one long vine, but a couple of new ones are coming out of the soil, so I'm really happy with that. This little baby is a really neat plant, but definitely very picky. And it almost died like twice already, but thankfully it's still doing pretty good. This is one of the propagated cactus that I got from the bigger plant. There's a couple of them that I've propagated so far. And then all of the other ones, I did my best to find out what the actual names of them were, but some of them are just really hard to find, especially because there are so many cacti out there in the world. But I did my best, and yeah, I definitely love some cacti. I have a whole bunch, probably like 30, a lot. I love them. This bunny tail cactus I've actually had for probably almost 4 years now. He's been very good to me. I haven't hurt him in any way. And then all of these aloes were all propagated from a larger aloe plant that I have. So every single one of them that you see right there has all been propagated. I believe they were all propagated around the same time, with the exception of the little itty bitty baby and the one all the way at the end. I don't know why that one is so much bigger than all the other ones. So I tried really hard to figure out what the name of this cactus was, and I could literally not figure it out. So maybe I'll go to the store and just see if they have any like that. But the one at the end is the correct name. I think this is my second alocasia plant. Since I moved to Florida, I killed the previous one. This one is the same as the propagated heartleaf philodendron. This one is the mama plant, and she's currently growing up the wall, which is super freaking cool. But the weight, I don't know, it's starting to fall down. It was touching the ceiling, but now it's starting to like fall down. I guess it's too heavy for its own weight. This little peperomia was probably the first plant that I got when I moved to Florida about 2 years ago, but she's doing really well. Not a super fast grower, but I love that it has pink edges on the leaves. It's my favorite part. This one was also one of the first plants I got when I moved to Florida. It's in the Dracaena family, and it is a Florida native, apparently. This one I actually got as a teeny tiny like little starter plant, and definitely one of my favorites. She can be a little picky, but it's worth it. She's so beautiful. So in these jars is stems from a Brazil philodendron that unfortunately was not living her best life. So hopefully those propagate and make some nice roots so I can plant them very soon. And then this jade pothos is one that I actually propagated. This is actually in the ficus family, like the fiddle. Definitely a pickier kind of plant. This one is the mama of the aloe veras that I propagated. It's crazy because she is a small plant herself. This one is actually one of my first plants ever. I've had her for probably about 4 years now. It is a green Maranta prayer plant, whatever you want to call it. She's had her ups and downs, but definitely living her best life now. And then here we have a Calathea rattlesnake, which is in the same kind of family. Like they all like lift the leaves up and do the prayer thing, which is super awesome. Definitely love that one. This one is a whale fin snake plant, which usually they're really big, but I just think this one is like a baby, which is kind of small. I'm a huge I'm a huge fan of snake plants because they just thrive and I love them. This one is the biggest and most beautiful peperomia that I have. It's a variegated peperomia. I've actually had this one for probably about 4 years too. And this ZZ plant as well. These plants came with me to Florida when I moved here, but I've had them for like many years now. Same thing with this ponytail palm. Was literally the very first plant that I bought in 2015 actually. Definitely a super easygoing plant. I totally cannot say that for this plant. This ivy is a brat. She just doesn't seem to like anywhere that I put her. Now moving into the second living room, I have this super giant like set of bookshelves with all my books and extremely long plants. This pothos is probably one of the newer ones actually that I have. And then this little Brazil philodendron is one that I also propagated, just like one long vine, but I got her from the mama plant a while back, so I'm glad that I did that because now the mama plant is not doing very well. I have this orchid that I got for my birthday this past January. She hasn't flowered again yet, but I'm not gonna give up on her. And then that is a cactus that I also propagated. And then this cactus, I just want to call it a pickle. It looks like a pickle to me. Pickle Rick, that's his new name. This is the longest plant I think I have. I literally have the vines like wrapped multiple times and they're still touching the floor. I don't really want to trim this one because I tried to propagate it before and it really didn't, it rooted but it hasn't really grown since then. So I'm just gonna let her be in her glory and be extremely long. Literally. It's a very beautiful plant though. And then this cactus I got, it was about 4 inches tall when I bought it. Almost 2 years ago. And then this is one of my other snake plants. I love snake plants. This is definitely one of my favorite cacti, but I was actually reading that it's a succulent, so that's depressing. Here we have this Burle Marx philodendron. This plant literally thrives. I have propagated it like 6 times already. And then this is another silver pothos. It is a lot thicker and like the leaves are a lot bigger, so I don't know if it's a different strain, but that one thrives and he likes it in the darker spot of the living room, like almost into the kitchen. And then we have another snake plant. That one is solid green, which is super awesome because all of the other ones are stripes and that one's literally solid. This one is a neon philodendron. That one has been propagated once already, but he's thriving. I actually still have it in the nursery pot. I've never replanted it. And then we have this blue star fern. My cat loves to eat that one. And then a really, really big money tree. This little baby, I don't know what the heck it is. That is the most recent plant I bought and she's pissed at life. And then this baby prayer plant literally died like 3 days after I filmed this, which is really freaking sad. And then this is Drake, one of my favorite plants. He is about 3 feet tall, doing super well. Had this one for about almost 2 years now. And now we're moving on to the bedroom. This is a barrel cactus from what I looked up. I'm not positive, but definitely one of the better ones that I have because he actually grows and a lot of cacti don't grow. This arrowroot plant is also pretty cool. Then I have this propagated ZZ plant, which is actually growing a 3rd little baby. This pothos was one that I actually recently propagated. I had about 4 to 5 cuttings that I put into one plant, and she looks so beautiful and so full. I'm so happy that I did that because that's a really nice looking plant. And then here we have a white orchid. This one took a really long time to reflower, but she's doing good now. She has crazy vines or roots, I guess. And then this cactus, I did not know what to call that cactus. Very hairy. That is all. This is one of the propagated Burle Marx philodendrons. One of the 6 that I have. And then there's Cat Daddy getting a nice drink. And then this is literally the biggest snake plant that I have. He is about 4 feet tall. And yeah, definitely the best snake plant that I have. These are some new pothos that I'm propagating there. There's a couple of them, and then I also am propagating a couple of the heartleaf philodendrons. Basically like that one. That one's a neon pothos. That one is a neon philodendron, just like the other one in the kitchen. That was the first one that I propagated from that plant. And then this here hanging is one that I propagated off of the Brazil philodendron, the mama plant. I propagated this ZZ plant a while back, but look at that little baby in there. Look at that little baby coming up out of so good. These are definitely extremely long. I've actually trimmed these a couple of times. The regular pothos and then the pearls and jade pothos I propagated once already. The other one I propagated like 3 times already. He just grows extremely long. Like I literally can cut off like like a couple of feet, and then within like a couple of months, like it has grown another couple of feet. So crazy. So yeah, this is my nice plant shelf. I really like putting plants on shelves because I feel like they are happier that way versus like being in a hanger. I don't know, they seem to get a little pissy when I put them in plant hangers, so I've just let them do their thing on the shelf. This cactus is super neat. It is like a bluish green color. Super cool. There we go. We got some roots already on those that I cut probably a couple weeks ago actually. And this corner, this is the first snake plant that I ever got. It is probably about 4 years old now. And that's one of the plants that moved to Florida with me. There is the nice shot of the philodendron that was propagated. These 2 cactus are the same, but I really like this style because they grow really tall. And then the same thing with these like circle cacti. I don't know what to call them, but those, they continue to grow like nubs, which is really cool. And then that one in the little yellow pot is actually another one that I propagated from like the first cactus in the beginning of the video. But yeah, I love cacti. And then this is a staghorn fern, which is kind of cranky sometimes, but ferns just tend to be cranky, but they're just so cool. This is the biggest plant that I have. It is the birds of paradise. These are natural outdoor plants here in Florida, and I actually have one of these at home as well, but we got a little baby over there. So beautiful. And yeah, some more cacti. I love those. That smaller one is blue. And then we have this little peperomia. I really like peperomias as well. I have 4 of them. I have like 4 of them. And a ton of pothos. This one my sister actually propagated. She cut a piece off of like a tree here. It was in Miami. And yeah, that one is living its best life. I'm not sure if that one might possibly be a philodendron. And now we're on to the bathroom. I have another little propagated Burle Marx philodendron there. And then this heartleaf philodendron on the counter. Alright, so that has been my plant tour. I hope that you enjoyed my collection. I didn't feel like getting ready, but I kind of was like, okay, maybe that's just gonna be the aesthetic of this video. So I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you will come back next week for a new video, and yeah, thank you for watching as always. I appreciate you, I love you, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye!